Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight in to what is absolutely the defining question of our generation. We are living in this wild moment where machines can process, produce, and predict stuff infinitely faster than we ever could. So we're framing our whole journey today around one ultimate question. What exactly is the core of human advantage in the age of AI? Let's get right into it. There is a profound thought from our source material that perfectly sets the stage for us. It says, "The future will not reward the human who knows the most. Artificial intelligence will know more." For centuries, having the human advantage literally just meant knowing more than the person sitting next to you. More facts, more formulas, decades of experience in one hyper-specific field. But we have to face reality. The era of competing on information storage and processing speed, it's over. A machine can scan 1,000,000 libraries before you've even had your morning coffee. So what does this all mean? This is the central mystery we're unpacking today. Think about it. If a machine can draft code, dream up images, spot molecular patterns, and summarize massive legal documents, if completing tasks is no longer the boundary of intelligence, what's our edge? What remains uniquely, undeniably human? Which brings us to Section 1, the end of knowing more, when answers arrive faster than wisdom. To really grasp our advantage, we first have to understand the environment we're stepping into. We're entering a world where expertise can be simulated in seconds, way before any deep understanding is actually earned. And that completely shifts the baseline of what makes us useful. Now, the true danger here isn't just that AI is getting super smart. The hidden crisis is that we as humans are voluntarily optimizing ourselves into these narrow, highly specialized cages. Our source calls this algorithmic narrowing. Basically, society teaches us to pick a niche, build a personal brand, and turn ourselves into a searchable keyword. Algorithms absolutely love narrowness because it's easy to rank, right? But the danger is that slowly but surely your entire worldview shrinks to fit inside that algorithm. And building on that narrowing, we face something even scarier: perception capture. AI doesn't just hand us answers anymore, it actually shapes the kinds of questions we even think to ask. It starts to outline the very boundaries of what we believe is possible. If we aren't careful, we become perceptually passive. We become great at reading someone else's map, but we completely forget how to explore the territory ourselves. We stop sampling the real world and just, accept the feed. That leads us right into Section 2, the specialization trap, playing the wrong game. There is a super seductive modern myth out there that we really need to dismantle today. And it's the idea that specializing as early and as narrowly as possible is your only ticket to success. You can see exactly why specialization fails us nowadays by looking at two very different types of environments. In what experts call kind environments, think of a game of chess. The rules are totally stable, feedback is immediate, and doing the same thing over and over gets rewarded. Early mastery works great there. But our modern AI-driven world, it is a wildly wicked environment. The rules are constantly shifting, feedback is delayed, and causes are completely tangled up. A wicked environment demands that you recognize fresh patterns, not just execute old routines. Sure, a narrow specialist will dominate a stable game, but let's be real. The AI age is anything but stable. So how do we actually survive and thrive in these wicked environments? That's Section 3, the core human advantage, why range is our superpower. We literally need to reframe how we think about our value, moving totally away from speed and specialization and leaning hard into a concept called range. Range is basically the defining superpower of our time. Think of it like carrying a massive ring of keys collected from totally different domains. Maybe you know about biology and history and ethics and art. Why does that matter? Because when you slam into a totally unprecedented wicked problem, you have the analogical judgment to solve it. You can look at a mess and say, wait, I've seen this exact structure before in a totally different field. When you combine that broad range with human values and a healthy working partnership with AI, you become unbeatable. AI expands the possibilities, but your range is what preserves your agency. Okay, so let's see how this all builds into a concrete, actionable framework for your daily life. This is Section 4, the Human Advantage OS, an operating system for the AIA. The whole point here is that while AI handles the heavy computation, this operating system trains you to ask the deeply human, philosophical questions that machines literally cannot compute. It's built on 5 modules. The range sensor asks what you haven't encountered yet, the deep structure mapper looks right past the surface noise, the analogical bridge connects insights across totally unrelated fields, and finally, the agency kernel and the human meaning layer, they ground you in your unique responsibility to other people. This system is exactly how you avoid becoming just a mindless, single-domain instrument. In a practical sense, applying this OS means fundamentally changing how you look at technology. Instead of just lazily asking AI for a final answer, you start using it as a lens, like a giant magnifying glass for your mind. You turn the machine into a perception amplifier. You tell the AI to expand your view, to contrast opposing ideas, or to translate a problem into the language of another field. You treat AI not as some unquestioned magical oracle, but as a cognitive gym to stretch and flex your own analogical thinking. But after all that expansion, there's one final command: choose. Because while the machine is amazing at predicting outcomes, generating a million options, and modeling crazy scenarios, only a human being can look at those options and actually decide what is morally worth protecting. AI doesn't lose sleep over a wrong decision. It doesn't carry guilt or responsibility. Stepping up, choosing what matters, and owning the world that our choices create, that is purely 100% human. And that brings us to the ultimate realization of our explainer today. Section 5. What is a human for? Stewardship over optimization. If we aren't here just to crunch data or calculate odds or blindly optimize for efficiency, what exactly is our role in this new era? It comes down to one word: stewardship. History actually gives us a great roadmap here. Every major knowledge revolution changes what it means to think. In the 15th century, the printing press blew the doors off who could share ideas. In the 20th century, the search engine massively accelerated how fast we could find them. But 21st century generative AI is a totally different beast because it actually participates in forming reality. It filters, it predicts, it recommends. As this tech becomes the invisible air we breathe, we have to actively push back. We have to renew old-school disciplines, things like wisdom, humility, and ethics, so we don't just become shaped by the machines we built. The future isn't going to ask whether humans can keep up with the speed of machines. It's going to ask whether humans can become wise enough to guide what those machines make possible. The greatest danger we face isn't that AI will replace humans. It's that humans will become so narrow, so robotic themselves, that they become replaceable. So I want to leave you with a powerful vow to take with you today. I will not become narrow. Challenge yourself. Break out of your algorithmic cage. Step boldly into your true human advantage by expanding your range, protecting your judgment, and fighting for meaning. So I'll leave you with this. What new domain, completely outside your comfort zone, will you explore today?